Hi, this is Mike for Draft Buddy, and today I'm going to do a bit of a different video. This one's more fantasy football specific about a draft that's ongoing for me right now as opposed to a Draft Buddy demonstration, but we'll get some Draft Buddy demonstration along with it. Here's the draft that I'm in. It's ongoing. This is the FanX Football League. It's a 12-team league, PPR scoring, pretty standard settings: one quarterback, one tight end, two running backs, three wide receivers, one flex running back, wide receiver, tight end. Again, it's PPR scoring. The draft it's in about the 11th round, I guess. I had the 12th pick in the draft. Again, it's a 12-team league. Don't love the 12th pick in the draft this year. Don't find that the 12th and 13th picks are really that much better than the 16th to 18th picks. So I'd much rather get in that, top 6 or 7, and then, second round pick, being just as good as these, the late first, early second. That said, it is what it is. Got to deal with it. And I did take Allen Robinson and Dez Bryant, and Dez Bryant perhaps even fell a little further than he normally would with my first and second round pick. So I started off two wide receivers, and the way the draft went, let's go to Draft Buddy. Now, as of Draft Buddy, I've got this set back at the 9th round, where I'm up in the end of the 9th. First pick in the 10th round, because I want to demonstrate, what I've done, kind of my decision making at that point in the draft. But here was my roster at that point. Okay, I'm on the end here. So I started off with Allen Robinson, Dez Bryant. At that point, running backs are going. I want to get two good starters, and the wide receivers were somewhat similar, but running back being the emphasis of the next two rounds. I took C.J. Anderson, DeMarco Murray. Okay, really like Anderson. Think he fell a little bit. Isn't maybe getting as much credit as he should, although he was a slow starter last season. DeMarco Murray, really like the player. I think last year was just a total bust and not representative of his talent. And the only concern there, of course, is the Tennessee offense as a whole. I think he'll get plenty of touches, but can the Tennessee offense make him productive? Certainly we're not expecting the Dallas years, but something in between that and the Eagles bust year last year would be great. So anyways, I started with those first four, and then I came back with wide receiver in the following two rounds. Larry Fitzgerald, Deshaun Jackson. Love those two picks. Love my wide receiver group. Now this, I went a little more unconventional here at this point, as you can see. So then when I got into the 7th and 8th round, I wasn't loving the quarterbacks. None of the quarterbacks really stood out for me too much. Tight ends, the top ones were gone. It seemed a bit early to take the next group of tight ends. So I went back to running back, figuring, I'm on the end. I got a long turn. Running backs are going to drop off here. And my wide receiver group is already strong, so I went to Rashad Jennings and Jonathan Stewart. Two guys I think are a good value. They're both starters on their representative teams. They are, good offenses, and even though they maybe not dominate touches like some backs, they are in a good position to be consistent performers. And I think they're a little bit undervalued from where they're getting taken at this point. So, through 8 rounds, I got 4 running backs, 4 wide receivers. I've got good depth, good quality starters at those key positions, but no quarterback, no tight end. All right, so we're in the 9th round. Let's look at my cheat sheet. As you can see, running backs and wide receivers exhausted down past the top 30. Wide receivers even deeper. No surprise. Here are the quarterbacks. Let me bump this up a little bit so we can see better. All right. Here are the quarterbacks who are available. Now you should know too, when I run Draft Buddy, I run it usually at the FF Today projections 100%, and generate my cheat sheets based on that. I don't necessarily follow that 100% myself, even though I do it. I don't put in my own projections necessarily. I don't adjust the rankings. I have my own rankings, but I will run Draft Buddy with the FF Today projections and then subjectively adjust the the picks as I go. For example, Tyrod Taylor is projected to be ranked the 7th quarterback per Draft Buddy per the FF Today projections, which come with Draft Buddy. I don't think Tyrod Taylor is the 7th ranked quarterback. I don't feel comfortable taking him in 7th. It's interesting to note, that Mike Kruger has him projected that high. It kind of sticks out a little bit as a value play, perhaps. But I won't necessarily take him 7th. I won't necessarily take him next, actually, because I don't think he's the next best quarterback available. But I don't feel the need to change it. I could change it in Draft Buddy if I wanted to, but I kind of go through and just subjectively change as we go, especially for a slow draft. If it was a live draft, then sure, okay, maybe I would make the changes so I'm more prepared. You got a shorter time clock, but with a draft like this Experts Draft online, we've got 12 hours, I think, between picks. So, don't feel a strong need to make the changes. So here are the quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins would be the next quarterback I would take. You see he's available right here. I feel that Cousins, can repeat last year. He's in a good offense, good coach, good talent around him, good chance to succeed and be just as productive as he surprisingly produced last year. So Kirk Cousins would be my next pick. But there are a lot of these quarterbacks very similar. Obviously, they're projected very similar, and that's not surprising. But a lot of these quarterbacks are very similar. Okay, if I go down to the tight ends, okay, we've got a similar story here with Antonio Gates. He's projected 5th, projected to rank 5th. I don't feel comfortable with that, and I'm the biggest Antonio Gates lover for the last 8 to 10 years. But anyways, I think he's definitely slowed down in recent years. He's not going to get the receptions and yards. I don't think that justify this ranking. He could catch 10 touchdowns, sure, but I'm not sure that's going to happen for Gates. I don't feel comfortable with him at 5. I really like Dwayne Allen. Not crazy about Witten, slowing down as well. Not a touchdown guy. Eric Ebron, kind of iffy on him. Zach Ertz, Eagles' offense is a bit of a mess. I think Ertz could be the best of the bunch, but I'm not loving that. Anyone on the Eagles at this point. Zach Miller, not really. Richard Rodgers, Green Bay tight end, not nearly as productive as one would hope. There's a guy right down here, Martellus Bennett, who I do really like. Talent-wise, Martellus Bennett is a top 5 tight end. He is projected really low, obviously because he's behind Gronkowski for targets at the tight end position. But I think the Patriots are going to use the 2 tight ends. I think Bennett, based on his talent, has a lot of upside, should be projected, should be ranked quite a bit higher. And, the fantasy community is taking him much higher than 26. Just FF Today projections have him projected quite low, and he's ranked quite low in Draft Buddy. But I like him. So, overall, these tight ends are thin, relatively thin. The quarterbacks up here, I think, are somewhat deep still. Because if we go to the rosters tab over here, and I scroll across, here I am on the end, I scroll across, every team has a quarterback. At least one. Some have 2 already. Except for Scott Fish, who doesn't have a quarterback, and myself. Everybody else has a quarterback. So, while it might make sense to take a quarterback here at the 9th round, or 10th round, because I got a long wait, how many quarterbacks are going to get taken before it comes back to me? I've already waited a long time, but could I honestly wait more? I think I probably could. Let's look at the quarterbacks again. The way I see it, now I understand my tier lines are where they are, but I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to stop there between Romo and Matt Ryan. I see 7 quarterbacks who I'm pretty similar about. Oh, let's get Romo in the case there. There we go. Like I said, I would take Kirk Cousins first. I would really like Jameis Winston. Derek Carr, a lot of people are high on. I'm not as bullish on Carr as others. But any of these 7 quarterbacks, I'd be pretty happy with. Are 7 quarterbacks going to get taken between my 2 picks now and my next 2 picks? Well, I don't think so. I think Scott Fish could take a quarterback. I think some of these guys will take a second quarterback. But 6 of them? Probably not. And are they going to take these 7? Maybe not. I think Marcus Mariota could go. Maybe someone really likes Andy Dalton. So, yeah, I think I can wait. I think I make my team better by getting a good tight end, or maybe taking 2 shots at tight end, and for one who's going to break out and be a top tight end, and then still get a quarterback I'm just as happy with in the next round. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to leave these quarterbacks, even though I would take Kirk Cousins. I may not get the one I would really want here, but there isn't, I guess the point is, there isn't one that I really want or really feel the need I have to have. Okay? So I'm going to wait on quarterback even longer, and I'm going to take 2 tight ends. I'm going to take Dwayne Allen, and I'm going to take Martellus Bennett for his upside. Okay? And that's one thing about picking on the end of a draft. If you take 2 from the same position, then it'll put more pressure on the other owners that, that position's getting a lot thinner, a lot faster than they expected. So then they'll be kind of scrambling a little bit and be like, I better take a tight end too. Which gives me even more opportunity that the quarterback's going to come back to me. So, like I said, this draft is actually in the 11th round now. I already had to make those picks. Made the 2 tight end picks, Dwayne Allen, Martellus Bennett, and then came back and made my quarterback pick. So let's see how it went. All right. Remember we said there were 7 quarterbacks I was happy with. Less than 7 are going to go between this and my next pick. All right. So there's the Bennett and Dwayne Allen picks for me right there. And then there's Scott Fish took a quarterback, Jameis Winston, good pick. So there's 1, 2, 3, Carr and Cousins. 4, Tyrod Taylor, someone else is high on him. 5, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Marcus Mariota. He wasn't in my top 7. Okay? And then, so I had 2 quarterbacks in that 7 who came back to me. Ryan Tannehill and Tony Romo. Okay? And then ultimately, I decided I could have taken both of them. And that might have made some sense. That would have been perfectly fine. I already had, at this point, backups at running back, wide receiver, backups at tight end, because I had Allen and Bennett. Could have taken 2 quarterbacks and played them off each other based on matchups. But went with Tannehill, and then decided, you know what? Romo's back is bothering him a little bit. I'm going to let him go, and we're going to wait a little bit longer. Right? Because now even more guys, perhaps even more, a few more, took backup quarterbacks than expected. So now everybody has a backup quarterback except for 1, 2, 3 teams, 4 teams, plus myself. Okay? So now we look back at the quarterbacks, and I scroll up here on the cheat sheet. Tony Romo is still available. That's where we had the 7 highlighted. All are gone now except for Romo, and still Matt Ryan is there. Andy Dalton's there. Hopefully I'm not taking Alex Smith at some point. But Jay Cutler's there. Teddy Bridgewater, who could be a breakout candidate. Even Blaine Gabbert is a high upside guy because of Chip Kelly going to San Francisco. Or Kaepernick, whoever's going to win the job there. But really, I think it's going to be Gabbert. So there you go. There's an example of waiting on quarterback. How much can you wait? Maybe even a little longer than you think. And I know it's great to have Russell Wilson. It's great to have Andrew Luck. Great to have Cam Newton. You can start them every week and not worry about it. But, sometimes there's a big advantage getting that extra depth at running back, wide receiver. And depending on your draft position, you may not be in a great spot to get one of those top quarterbacks. Okay, it may just not be a value play at that point. So you wait and you get really good value late in the draft by being one of the last to take a quarterback, even after 11 were gone. In this case, more than 11 were gone. I got my starter, and Tannehill has a fair bit of upside. He's got a great coach. He's got improved receivers. He's going to throw the ball a ton. So, just based on quantity, and he could rack up fantasy points, and this could be an excellent pick. So, having Tannehill, and then I'll supplement this with another quarterback to play matchups with later on. Okay, so there's an example of some of my thought process in drafting from the 12th pick and waiting on quarterback and trying to build a winning franchise using Draft Buddy. Thanks, and talk to you soon.